Now, this is not the first time that I have been using a battleship for exploration. The first ever battleship that I used for this purpose was the Nestor. I actually used to have a Nestor a long time ago, but I sold that ship, and honestly very glad that I did, because the price did skyrocket for the Nestor at the time. Now, this is a Praxis, the classic Praxis, a ship that we get basically free for Omega as a gift, I guess, and the Praxis doesn't get any skill per level stats, but it does have some very interesting roll bonuses. And usually the Jovian ships are more of a collectible, not exactly a ship that I would actively use for anything. The Praxis 2 is definitely a much better ship stat-wise and DPS-wise, but I was curious to see if there is a purpose for the classic Praxis, and well, I decided to try it out for some good old exploration. Honestly, it's not bad at all. Personally very surprised to see the stats that I did see. That scanner has a very small radius, and I think it's very close to what my Astro has, which I would say is kind of shocking to say the least. I did not expect the minimum resolution to be that low. And also have a nanocore for it. You also get for technically for free, and the nanocore can give you some extra exploration stats. Now, as I mentioned on the start, the Jovian ships are usually collectibles, and I wouldn't be using them for anything. Although I do use them for PvP, but that's me. I do weird stuff like that. But when it comes to something else, can this ship have some purpose? Now, in game at the moment, we still don't have the other faction analyzers. We still have only two types of analyzers. Actually, we have the normal ones and two faction ones. The faction ones are very expensive, so unfortunately the other faction analyzers haven't been released, which they should be released. It's been a very long time since exploration has been added, so that's one thing that I guess I can fairly complain about. We need more analyzers. But let's actually see how this thing will perform. Now, I used the Nestor for low-sec as well. I did fly the Nestor in null-sec at one point. The reason why I'm not using this ship for low-sec and null-sec is the fact that obviously it is underpowered DPS-wise. Even with my current build, I mean, I can easily just go with the Bombard and I wouldn't have any problem with Stratios cruisers and Astros, but it is still a bit risky to fly a 11 billion ship with no skill per level stats. With the Nestor, I did feel very safe with the Nestor. That thing was very tanky, was also very fast. 3000 meter per second Nestor was a real thing at the time, and I have the skills for it quite literally maxed out at the time. So that's why I was able to fly the Nestor a lot more freely. And I kind of missed the Nestor. I did like the ship a lot. It is a very unique ship, very good gunboat. Now with Bombard Tactic Implant I can actually pull off some pretty scary DPS, but at the same time I also have the Dominic's Navy, which does fill in the role just fine. But the Nestor does have the best scanner in the game as a battleship, and I think it outperforms the Stratios and Astor as well, because of the skill per level bonus that it gets. When it comes to the Praxis, honestly, it does get the job done. I mean, I still say, and I will probably say this until the end of the game, cruisers and frigates are still the best possible ship classes for exploration. Now, of course, you do have some occasions where a battleship is necessary, especially when we get the more combat type anomalies, or should I say not anomalies but combat type sites. That's where the battleship and the cruiser might actually start to shine a little bit more. Now, would I use the Praxis for that? Well, maybe for the low level one. I would definitely not use the classic Praxis, this one, for anything serious. This ship is just to enjoy the game and to keep it as a I guess as a not prize but collectible in the end. Now I did have some PvP kills with this ship, but that's just me. I do stuff like that. I mean, I use the Gnosis for PvP, even though I haven't used any of the ships in a for a very long time. I did use them, and I did have fun with those two ships. But I think in one of the next videos I'll use the Gnosis for exploration. Very curious to see how that will work. The Sunensis is actually a very good starter ship for exploration. If you don't have any ship for exploration, the Sunensis can actually get the job done really well. And that ship is, I think, free for in the very first 30 days of Omega, I believe. So it's very easy to get that little boat. And honestly, the Sunensis is a very nice ship. Does get the same roll bonus as the Praxis and Gnosis. I mean, it's basically the same Jovian ship. And maybe I'm just putting it out, maybe after the developers do the rework, after they rework the whole game, which technically is planned, and the time for the release of the rework is coming closer and closer, I might actually say that we might get that on the anniversary. Maybe on the anniversary, who knows. I did say Titans on the anniversary, but now I'm starting to lean towards something else. Since if Titans were really on the anniversary, we would already see some intel on that, but so far everything has been pretty quiet. Or maybe we get all of that in the anniversary of it, who knows. But the one thing I know is that the rework is definitely getting closer and closer. And maybe these ships will also get reworked. I mean, I would love to have some skill probable stats on these ships. The developers have said themselves that they want to reduce the number of ships to make the other ship hulls more useful. Hopefully they did not give up on that idea, since honestly that idea is pretty good and it does make sense, would help ships a lot, would help the lower tier ships a lot, would also help the Praxis, since it technically would be the only one Praxis ship in the game, this one. So that's one thing that we still have to see what will happen. But for the most part, I think I have been pretty happy with the game so far, even though I haven't been playing that often. And recently. Let me tell you one thing, the last like week and a half or the last 2 weeks were crazy when it comes to game stability issues and stuff like that. And I'm not trying to be negative here. There was really a problem with the game, and seems to be fixed. So hopefully that did not take too much of developer time, since I mean, coding is definitely no easy thing. And when I see not comments on YouTube, but comments on Discord, how obviously it makes sense to me. It's actually pretty obvious to me that a lot of people have no idea how coding works, which honestly it doesn't surprise me nowadays in 2024. Anything is possible in this age that we're living in, but coding isn't as simple as it sounds. You fix one bug, you change one little line of code, and all sort of other things go wrong. And that's just how coding works, and that's how coding was since the beginning of coding, 40, 50 years ago. So yeah, we definitely need to have some patience when it comes to the developer time here. After all, it's not a big team, which is honestly obvious. So they need to have some time to actually work on stuff, and that's why I'm saying. Hopefully, the last 2 weeks did not ruin the good things that should have been released on the anniversary or close to the anniversary. And the collaboration event, I guess it's nice, although I haven't been doing much of the collaboration event. Again, I haven't been playing that often. I have been playing very, very, very rarely in the last couple months. But still, doing some PvP, obviously. I mean, that's the only thing I've been doing lately. and occasionally some exploration here and there. I think the funniest thing is it's not the first time that I actually had received the idea for a exploration praxis 2 years ago when I was hunting with the Ortus, and when I saw a praxis inside of a was a not a scout, no, it was a one of the exploration sites. They were inside, and I jumped in, tackled it, and they stabbed out from the Ortus. 10 plus stabs on the Praxis. That's basically where I got the idea to do a exploration Praxis video, and honestly I understand why the player did that, because the ship is actually not that bad when it comes to exploration. Even if it looks weird, and maybe it is weird, it's honestly not bad at all. It's more than usable, that's for sure. Easily able to just scan sites. Now, would I use this in nullsec and lowsec? Obviously not. But if you want to, I guess you can, but I would not recommend that. And when I was talking about the Sunensis, I would say exploration is still, and in the recent updates, exploration is a even better way to actually start with the game, since in high sec you can easily get like 30, 50 million, well, not obviously not billion, my bad, but up to 100 million ISK with the Sunensis as an alpha clone per day, and that's the lowest possible estimate. The loot's been changed, the overall stuff that you can find has been changed, the overall value of things. Some things went up, some things went down. That's a dynamic thing. That's always going up and down. So unfortunately, that's just how it is when you have a player-driven economy in the game. But in the end, it's definitely still a thing that you can do as a alpha clone. With the Sunensis, with any ship that you want to do exploration with, preferably something with 3 medium slots, you can easily stay high sec and just do high sec exploration. It's still one of the more relaxing thing that you can do, and nowadays it's more profitable than it used to be. Of course, some things go up, some things go down, but at the same time you loot everything that you find in the exploration sites. So at the end of the day, it's going to be ISK in the wallet regardless of the loot, since you will be opening up everything of value anyway. My alt has been inactive. Hopefully tomorrow I might actually go and take one of my devices to repair, since I kind of want to use the older device again. Maybe actually use my alt on the older device, because let me tell you, my alt definitely needs to be active a little more. Not only for PvP, but for other things, and I don't really want to torture my one and only device now that much, since that device is already doing a lot of work anyway. So it does work, it does do a lot of work, but I kind of want to try and make it live a little bit longer. I don't feel like buying a new phone every year. That's kind of crazy if you ask me, especially not when they're so expensive nowadays. Is that a Tyra? Oh yes it is. Okay, I didn't even notice it. I was carried away. I got jumped by a Tyra. Oh, I wish this was low sec. Now I wish this was low sec. Things are so random sometimes in the game, and I love that aspect of Eve. You never know what can happen when you undock. Quite literally, everything is sometimes out of the blue, and that's one of the things that I love about this game. And as always, each time I go out and explore, I realize how much I actually enjoy the game for what it is. And it's not just me, a lot of other players did say the same thing. When you do something different for once, and when you just have actually time to appreciate the game, the ships and everything else, it does change your view on the game completely. And of course, I know the game is far from perfect. We all know that. There is no such thing as a perfect game. It is still probably the best game of its type on this platform.
Autopilot engaged.
And that becomes pretty obvious when you actually start to pay attention to the game. I realize that a lot myself when I play and when I do PvP or other combat. I don't really pay much attention to the game itself, and that takes away from the enjoyment. I mean, for example, just look at the scenery here. Yeah, I just had to take screenshots because the game has some very nice, beautiful positions and beautiful systems. And it would be such a waste if this would just go away one day when the game shuts down, and we all know every single game eventually shuts down or evolves in something else.
Drive active.
So, as I like to say, enjoy while it lasts, because nothing lasts forever. Nothing lasts forever. And I'm actually very glad to be in a position where I can actually record and document not just this game but every game, so I can, look back at things like 20, 30 years from now, and I can just look back and enjoy the old days, something like that in the end. That is, if we have internet in 30 years. I mean, rest in pieces those 8 million PCs that got yeeted in that issue that happened a couple days ago. So yeah, everything can just go away with a blink of an eye, so that's what I'm saying, enjoy things while they last. And I'm trying to be positive, because a content creator's job isn't just to crap on things, it's also kind of bring balance with within the game and developers and stuff like that, to keep things in balance, not to be biased but to be in between, to balance things out. And that's what I'm trying to do. Well, as we all know, the game is flawed, but it is still a game that's probably, as I mentioned a couple minutes ago, probably the best of its type. And there is no other game like this on this platform, and there won't be any other game like this after Eve Echoes. Nothing will be close to it, nothing will be made after Eve Echoes to be a open world space MMO on a mobile device. Even PC, it doesn't even exist on PC as well, very few, and they're not even close to what Eve has to offer. So in that aspect, it's a very unique game, and there is nothing going to be released close to it for the foreseeable future. It's just, I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. So that's what I'm saying. We have a chance to play a good game and enjoy a good game, so we better enjoy it while it lasts. And while I'm still exploring here with the good old Praxis, this Nanocore has a very beautiful effect. And if there is one thing that they did well with the Praxis, it's definitely the Nanocore effect. It is honestly very nice to look at, and if there's anything good with the ship, it's just to look at it, I guess. It looks nice. It does look very nice indeed. So, should you be using this ship for exploration? Well, I mean, I'm still against it. I wouldn't recommend anyone to use a Praxis for exploration, obviously, for obvious reasons. It's just, there's other ships that are obviously going to be much better for this purpose. But if you ever feel bored with the game, or if you want to do something different, I guess you can use the Praxis. I mean, if you know what you're doing, and if you don't go into the very dangerous areas, you can actually have some fun with this ship. Which is kind of surprising, since when I looked at the Praxis a long time ago, I wasn't personally really impressed with it. I think I was just saying it's in the middle, it's on the lower end. But honestly, now when you actually start to do things with it in a different way, yeah, I can see why this ship might have some appeal when it comes to exploration. I mean, it's the one thing that you can do without actually having to risk the ship, at least until the combat exploration sites are released. And I've heard some rumors a long time ago that those types of combat anomalies or combat exploration sites are in the works, but so far I haven't really seen anything or haven't heard anything. Even on the NDA part, I can tell you I haven't seen or heard anything, because I I've been pretty much away from all that for quite a while now. When I say I've been away, I haven't been really paying much attention to it. Usually if there is something interesting, I hear about it and I can take a look at it, but so far I haven't heard anything of such interest. The only thing that we all been waiting for are Titans from last anniversary, from last year, when they have been cancelled because they decided to do something else. So yeah, I mean, the next month or two, or maybe even up until the end of the year, I think things are going to be very, very interesting within game, and I'll be around, obviously. I mean, I am still here, as you can see, still playing the game. Not as much as I used to, that's a sad truth. That's a sad truth. I haven't been playing Evacuous as much as I used to play it. I mean, I used to play the whole day. I used to play the whole day. Now my game time is maybe 30 hours to an hour every second or third day I log in or something like that. So that's just my game time at the moment. I don't know if it will improve. I don't really think at this moment that my game time within Evacuous will improve. I kind of enjoy the game the way I'm playing right now. I mean, I still do PvP, still do stuff, and I'm still making videos, obviously. You just don't really see how much I'm active because I usually put that into one video and I upload that. So it does look like it's made in one single day, while it actually was a video in the works for like 7 days, or maybe, 3, 4, 7 days, something like that. But in the end, I'm still here, and I think I'll be here. We will see. Not really a thing that I can. I mean, I can control, obviously, but there's just so many other factors to include, and I'm just being real. I'm being real. I try to say the truth. Sometimes I forget things because I already memorized a lot of things, which is a bad thing actually. Memorizing everything is sometimes a bad thing, since you tend to forget the important things. Sometimes you actually completely forget what really happened, and then you accidentally say something that didn't happen, and that kind of sucks, but it is how it usually is. I'm looking forward for the anniversary of the game. I'm definitely looking forward to the anniversary. It's actually like 2 weeks away from now, and I think the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe more. The next whole month, I should say, the next whole month might be interesting content-wise. I don't want to jinx anything or spoil anything. We should always have a sense of doubt as well, since you don't want to be disappointed too much. But myself personally, I kind of expect a lot of things to unveil and to happen in the next couple weeks in the game. So hopefully it's going to be good. Maybe wormholes. I mean, I've been saying wormholes last year. We did get wormholes technically, not the wormhole space. And I think the wormhole space might be my own final frontier. Maybe I'll just take a Stratus and go to wormhole space and never get out of the wormhole space. I'll just play the game over there and just log out in space and stuff like that. One of the things that I always wanted to do. One of the things that I always wanted to do. So that's the thing that I have been looking forward to and that I'm still looking forward to. That, and I guess Titans, since I really want to record Titans. That's when I started the game out like 6 years ago, I kind of imagined me playing the game and playing Titans and recording them at one point. 6 years later, that's actually going to be true, hopefully. I really want to record those beasts, and I think that's gonna be pretty fun to show. I'm very sure that's gonna be pretty fun to show. So yeah, I still have things to look forward to in this game. Maybe Triglavians at one point, I don't know, but at the end of the day, I think the peak of the game might happen again. The peak as in the golden days might return. I don't know. Being optimistic, but at the same time it can also go in the opposite direction. So we will see what we will see what will happen with the anniversary. Still have to record those new drones and stuff. We'll have to do that on the test server when it's available, since those things are expensive over here and at the live server. And I really want to test out the new fighters and the new things. I think that's gonna be one very interesting thing to do as well. But that was the Praxis. Surprisingly, a very interesting exploration ship. Did work really well so far, and I honestly have no complaints about it. Did get the job done. And with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. If you would like to support me, feel free to like and subscribe. And with that being said, stay safe, fly safe, and as always, I'll see you next time.